Westwood One Radio, calling the Super Bowl once again. As my Hall of Fame friend, Kurt Warner. Good to see you, Kurt.
What's up? I am not demanding a trade. I like my teams. I like where I'm at. I like my groups. I'm good.
That's good. Very good. And also, we needed an expert to start this program, to start talking about the Super Bowl. So we actually even have an animation for you. It's time for Ask the Expert, presented by TurboTax. There it is. See, you're the expert.
All right. Do I need my 8-ball or something?
No.
I'm good?
You don't need that.
Okay.
No, all right. Because you have your inner magic
all right.
ball.
Got it.
So, my goodness, we've been talking about these teams in respective ways all season long, and here we are. They finally made it. It is the Eagles versus the Chiefs. Your first blush thoughts on what Super Bowl 59 is going to come down to?
I mean, I love the matchup. I love when we get down to two teams so I can go into all the little nuances and all the little things that I can't wait to watch in this game. But I think my initial take is I think the Eagles are the better football team across the board. Just when I look at all the different units, what I think they bring to the table. So I'm excited about that because if the Chiefs get their three-peat, they're going to have to earn it against what I think a lot of us feel is the best football team in the National Football League. And then, obviously, the excitement of Andy Reid and what he is and what he's meant and what he can accomplish, and Patrick Mahomes, what he's done at a young age. And, I sit back and, every time I think about the matchup, I'm like, how did the Chiefs go 15-1 this year? Like, how did this team go 15-1 when I just kind of look at the, the individual pieces? But I think that's what's been incredible. And so, as much as I can say the Eagles, to me, look like the better team, you just can't count them out. You can't count out the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, and you feel like they're going to keep it close, and who's going to have the ball in the end, and that's exactly how we want it, right? That's exactly the kind of Super Bowl we want.
What are the adjustments you do see on the All-22 from the Chiefs that stand out to you? Either side of the ball. I'll just go full. 22 with you on that.
I mean, I think the adjustments, and I actually got a chance to talk to Andy and Patrick for our show on Sunday, and just kind of asking them, because the Patriots always had, kind of that formula to play their best football at playoff time. And you're always like, how does that work? Like, how do you get better throughout the season? And, Andy was telling me, like, they would try things early in the season with guys and go, okay, can we do this with them? And can we do this? And one of the adjustments is what they've done with Xavier Worthy is he came in and he's the fastest guy at the combine. And we all think, okay, he's going to be the guy to get them back on track like Tyreek Hill. And they've tried different things throughout the year and all of this. And now he's become kind of what Rashee Rice was to this team last year. He's had 13 targets in the playoffs. 11 of them have come within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. That now he's become this catch it quick. This is how we play offense. We're going to let him do the run after catch thing more than the big plays down the field. And so that's the kind of adjustment that I see with the Chiefs, things that they do to adjust around who they have to be as a team. I mean, Spags, I think, always does a great job with his blitz packages, which I think will be a key in this game if they can get, the Eagles into third and longer situations, and can they handle the blitz? And, we saw what that meant for them against the Bills. So I just, I love all the little nuances of what these teams do. And how, in certain situations, they're going to have to, protect against certain things or attack a certain way.
And Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio being added to the staff, what a major boon that was to the Eagles. Yep. Certainly, since that was part of their issue last year, was replacing the two coordinators they lost head coaching jobs the last time they played in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. Yeah. By the way, they're going to probably lose their offensive coordinator again after playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So what are you seeing from those two that have actually helped put them into New Orleans?
I think the beautiful thing about those two guys is that they understand what they have as a team. So Vic Fangio has always been a guy that, likes to play kind of a base defense, what we call quarters, kind of four across defense. But last year when we watched the Eagles, especially down the stretch, they had so many breakdowns defensively that gave up big plays and they couldn't get it together, that he's come in and say, hey, here's what I know. We have really good talent on this football team. don't give up the big play. Like, don't try to do too much. Be solid and really good at what you do. And so he's really settled down their defense in terms of, we'll let our front four get after it. We'll blitz every once in a while, but we're going to play solid defense and force teams to have to go the long distance against us because I think we're a better football team. Kellen Moore has always been a guy that likes to change it up and throw the ball all over and do different motions and stuff. And if you look at their offense this year, they've really settled in and said, hey, we got Saquon Barkley. We got the best offensive line in football. We don't have to throw it all over the yard, even though that's been who Kellen's been in the past and what I know he likes to do and what any coordinator likes to do to kind of show off who they are. I think both of these coordinators have done a great job of going, I know what we have as a team. We just need to do our part of this thing. We don't need to try to do too much. And in doing that, we've seen the best complete team. Hey, if we've got to run the football, every snap and throw for 150 yards, no problem. We'll do that because we can win because our defense can make plays, vice versa. I've been very impressed with the way that they've kind of pulled back, simplified things for their team, knowing the roster that they have.
I thought the Chiefs had the most complete team they've ever had.
No, that's what I've heard people say that, but I don't believe that. You guys,
that's been
I don't believe that.
Morning. That's been a game day morning issue all season long.
Yeah.
That we've said that is this the most complete team Patrick Mahomes has ever had? Everybody else says yes. Kurt has been saying no the entire time. You've also been saying that the Eagles do have a problem in their passing game.
I do.
But they've been obviously overcome.
Yeah.
It helps to have a running back who runs into the end zone through the red zone from wherever he wants to.
No doubt. That helps.
On the field, it helps.
That helps.
So what is the passing problem for the Eagles? Have they fixed it going into the Super Bowl? If the Chiefs make it an important part of the Eagles game to win the game?
The biggest problem they have with passing, and again, I don't think this is every week. I don't think they're not capable of throwing. I think Jalen is fully capable of it. The problem that I see at times is that Jalen gets too conservative with the football. So when things are out there in front of him, he'll hold the football. He won't, make those throws that to me can make the game easier. Now, he might take a sack or he might make a 4-yard gain on those plays. But that's the thing that I think when we talk about the passing problem, we continue to wait to see, will there be a game where Jalen Hurts is forced to drop back in the pocket and throw 35 or 40 times? And can he win a game that way? Because you have to play on time. I've seen him play on time. We saw him play a great game in the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 57. We saw him play great in the championship game. So he's capable of it. And that to me is where, when I say there's a problem, not that they can't do it, it's why don't they do it in those situations where it's there in front of them? I don't know if that even comes into play. Like, can the Chiefs once again stop the run game of the opponent and hold Saquon Barkley under 100 yards and force Jalen Hurts to drop back and play football that way? I don't know if they can, and so I don't know if that's going to come into play, but that's my big question is when they get into those moments, do they have the complexity offensively? Can Jalen play a little bit more on schedule in those situations and make the plays in front of him?
Well, I guess the Chiefs will have to put points up on the board, too, in conjunction with stopping the run to force that action, right?
Yep. Exactly.
And then, because we don't talk about the Chiefs' running game, and that was a crucial part of their victory 2 years ago.
It was, yeah.
Against the Eagles. I mean, Isaiah Pacheco had a breakout sort of moment in that game. Mahomes with the gimpy ankle was running his head off, which is kind of typical for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So I guess when it comes down to it, that's where Jalen Carter will be able to affect this game. I imagine.
You would think, and you're right. The Chiefs have really kind of played the game to kind of muddle the game up. Like, we want to keep it low scoring. Like, last week or championship weekend was the first time they scored 30 points all year long, which is unfathomable that they didn't fall into 30 points at one point, but that's how they play. We want to get first downs. We want to move the chains. We want to keep Saquon and company off the field, and we want this to be a mid-20s type football game. And so, yes, Jalen Carter can play a role in that, but what I believe the Chiefs are going to do is they're going to get the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands quickly. RPOs, quick throws like I was talking about to Xavier Worthy. They'll run the ball, and they're happy to run the ball for 3 yards at a pop. They're not looking to get – they would love the 70-yard touchdown like Saquon.
Right,
but they're not looking for that. They're just saying, let's stay on schedule so we can give it to Patrick in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, because we know he's going to make that play most of the time and keep the drive going. So I think they want to play a completely different game than the 38-35 last time, high-scoring game. We want to keep this in the low 20s. We want to control the football, and we want to give Patrick the ball with one drive to go win it for us.
And it doesn't matter if it's one-score game or not, right? But obviously, if it's one drive at the end, so many people have been saying whoever gets the ball last is going to win this game.
Right.
Well, what do you say? I mean, what's your expert prediction, Warner? I know you're going to have to give it
I'm going to give it on Sunday. So here's what I'm leaning towards right now. I mean, I've already made the argument that I think the Eagles are the better team. And so I am leaning towards the Eagles to win this football game. I think there's more ways in which they can win. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if they're going to have to jump out and win this thing big if they're going to win it instead of giving it back to Patrick Mahomes. But again, too many questions in my mind on how the Chiefs are 15-1 outside of just having the key components that win the close games. We talked about it all year. Are they lucky or are they good? They're really good. There's no question about it. But I believe the Eagles are the better team. I believe the Eagles are going to stop history.
That was Ask the Expert right here on the Rich Eisen Show, presented by TurboTax. Hand off your taxes to a TurboTax full-service expert this year. They do your taxes. You get back to life. Now, this is taxes.
How are they 15-1, Kurt? Well, they're lucky in the refs. Remember,
the refs.
You've been following that.
Can you imagine sitting on the Super Bowl podium after getting here and you're trying for a three-peat and people asking you about the refs calls? Like, come on, guys, let's be classy. That's ridiculous. But
please go.
They're
on.
good.
Please go on.
They're
Please
good.
go on, because I keep being bombarded by the guy to my right, other people who come in here who really feel that there is some sort of thumbprint because. Whether it's you think that the Chiefs have favor just because that always happens with teams that are dynastic, or my buddy comedian Bill Burr came on here and said it's more interesting to have somebody that could chase Brady in the Patriots. So let's keep forget about the 7 that Brady had. Let's just keep amassing here. So there'll be interest over the next 10 years.
Right. I was just talking to Andre Reed. Obviously, he's got the Bills side of things, and so we were talking about the championship game, and he brings up the worthy catch. Was it a catch? Was it an interception? Did it touch the ground? Obviously, he brought up the 4th down, quarterback sneak, and the other way to look at it is like, for Worthy to go up and do what he did, to make it even a question that he did catch it, did it touch? Like, it was an incredible play.
Amazing play.
The Chiefs, the number of times that they stopped Josh Allen on that, to make it so close that we can sit here and go, I'm not sure if he got across the line. I think he did, but I'm not sure. Well, yeah, I think it was a catch, or maybe it touched. Like, they make those plays in the moment, so we can talk about the refs or we can talk about those, but it's like they did it well enough to make it where we can sit back and go, I see why they called it a catch. I see why they called it a stop, even if we don't agree with it. And that's, to me, where when you have all these conspiracy theorists and the scripts that are laid out there, that's the thing about the Chiefs that's amazing, is that they have different guys that step up in those moments, and they give their team a chance over and over again, and that's where you just have to tip your hat. I don't know how they do it and how they ask the rookie, hey, you got to go make a one-handed catch in this moment over the top of a defender if we're going to win the AFC Championship game, and the guy goes and does it. It's just it's incredible that they've been able to piece this together.
Well, when in your career did you first realize you were getting all the calls, Kurt? When did that happen in your career?
We beat people by 30 points a game, so we didn't have to worry about that. Did we stop them on 4th down? I'm just playing.
No. That's my favorite Kurt Warner. I know there's very different versions of Kurt Warner.
Hold on, let's look at Kurt's 99 season real quick.
There's underrated red ass Kurt Warner. There's underrated boastful Kurt Warner. That one just came out right there. Goofy Kurt Warner. I saw that last night as he was going down the red carpet last night at the Kelsey event. His lovely wife, Brenda, he's going through the line, and I said, I just snapped a photograph saying, over here, sir, over here, like part of the paparazzi. Right there.
There it is.
Okay, there. There's
we try to keep those in the background, though. We try not to share most of those.
All right.
Those people very often.
Right.
You get them out of me. You know how to pull them out of me. That's right.
I got them
That's
all.
right.
There's humble Kurt Warner, which is the one that everyone knows. But we were beating everyone by 30 points. Like, we didn't need it.
In 1999, you're 13-3. of your 13 wins, 12 were by at least 3 scores.
Right. So
Three scores.
Yeah.
A dozen games by 3 scores.
I know. That's what I mean. So we didn't have to worry about the one play at the end where people are going, oh, you got the call. So I didn't think about it as much.
So, I mean, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. You know,
I was
didn't think
not trying to be boastful. I was just trying to be honest.
It's factual.
Think about it. Yeah, just the facts, man. Just the facts.
Kurt, you're not cocky or conceited. You're just convinced.
Right. Yeah. Right. Very
12 victories
by
By three
scores, 3 plus.
Well, they were a lot of them, like 35-7, 38-10.
How many were against Mooch? How many against Mooch? Those are your favorite.
That was 20. That was 23-7. So
one, but we had another one in there, like 55-23 or something.
that was one against Mooch. Well, yeah. Oh, was Mooch San Francisco then, or
Wasn't that the fourth game of the year?
42-20.
42-20.
Yeah.
Okay, 22 points.
Yeah.
Who was your backup that season?
Fantastic.
What's that?
Who was your backup that season?
Paul Justin.
Okay, he must have got a lot of playing time then, right? Like,
He got some
Not
playing
really.
time.
You needed your reps, man.
No,
The magic carpet
Yeah,
ride needed
that
the
was a
reps.
different era too. Like we would get out in the third quarter. It's not like now where these guys are playing up 35 points in the fourth quarter.
That's true. You only
throwing the
had
ball.
499 attempts that year.
Yeah. Right. It was different. Like these guys now, they'll have 700 and some attempts.
Well, Brady's
season.
last season, he set the record with like 750 something.
750. Yeah. It's crazy. Like I always say that when these guys are great in this era, but they're like, hey, Justin Herbert passed so-and-so, Steve Young for fastest whatever. And I'm like, can we look at attempts and not just games? Because games nowadays, these guys have like 3 extra seasons that they've played because of pass attempts. All right, anyways, that's the other soapbox that I'm on.
That's it. Axe grinding Kurt Warner's another of my favorite.